ho, ho, ho. Well,
we talked to you about calling us that, but all right, go ahead.
Your bell, your dick bell or whatever's going on below the belt is messing us up.
Sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the vodcast. Welcome to the broadcast. This is Convincing Idiots. I'm Dean.
I'm Nick.
I'm Brian.
And we are here at Convincing Christmas, the Christmas special, spectacular, the whatever you want to call it. We're here to celebrate Christmas. Nick, tell them what we're about to do.
So today we are going to discuss some Christmas films or specials that we like. There's a lot of different genres and different paths you could go down. You've got all your old classics, a lot of live action films there. There's, of course, the claymation TV specials and stuff like that. You've got a lot of really good newer ones as well. There's a lot of good animated current films. And, of course, you have all your Hallmark Christmas movies, of people falling in love at Christmas time. I know we all enjoy that. So, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and run those down. And if there is no other comments, we have the Statman Brian Fisher. Would you like to lead us off with your list?
And the Statman.
There you go. All right. That looked 3D.
It was coming right at me.
Very close.
I think I saw like a big pow coming at it too, written out towards me.
Yes.
Well,
okay, so my top 5. I got a little bit of overlap and stuff here, but and like you said, we kept it open to any type of Christmas video content, whatever it is, or music even. What is it that every season you want to take in? Movie, special, etc. So number 5, I wrote A Christmas Carol, the story itself. There's different variations of that story out there. There's the Muppets. Go ahead.
Christmas Carol, is that the movie or the play, or is that the like a prostitute named Carol that you go see on Christmas?
Well, that was over on Howard Street back in 1996.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yes, that was a tradition for another show.
Hey,
but that's a long time ago.
You should get use out of that mistletoe.
Well, I was visited by various ghosts of Christmas past there for a while after that, if you know what I'm talking about. So,
wasn't the Christmas future penicillin?
I was just going to make a penicillin joke. That's funny. No, it was not. It was not her from Howard Street. This was the story of Christmas Carol. Like I said, there's different versions of it. The Muppets, it's on Disney Plus now. That's a nice one if you haven't seen that. Mickey Mouse animated one is a nice hour-long special. Very good, funny. True to the story. Scrooged, which is kind of a more modern one with Bill Murray in the late 80s. I think that was 88 or 89. The one I watch every year, though, is the Jim Carrey version from Disney in 2009. I mean, overall, it's probably not rated the best of all of them, certainly. But in 2009, when it came out, I took Peyton when she was a little girl. We went to a nice Christmassy evening together, went and saw that movie. So that was a nice memory in itself, and that became a tradition to watch that together every year since. I think we've still watched it every year since. And again, it's a more of a darker version. If you haven't seen it, it's more true to the story. But there are some funny moments and all that. Jim Carrey, excellent voice work in this. He plays different characters. He plays Scrooge. He plays a couple of the ghosts. Very, very good. Gary Oldman is in it. He plays Bob Cratchit and a few other people. And it's a good voice work and everything. And in the theater, it was even in 3D, which was extra fun at the time. So that made it look. Anyway, so that's.
You said this was Disney?
Huh?
This was Disney who put this one on?
This was Disney, yeah. I don't know that it's on Disney Plus. I would assume it's on Disney Plus now, but
probably
it's a good one. It's not as much little kid friendly, honestly, but again, it's a good story, and the story itself is very good about the true meaning of Christmas and redemption and never too late to change and all that, as you know. Another one for me is a 1947 film, Miracle on 34th Street. That's the one where a guy is hired as Santa Claus for the Macy's Day Parade and the Thanksgiving Parade. He looks like Santa. Turns out he might be the real Santa. He is the real Santa, and you kind of learn that throughout the film. But very great story, great acting. I love the guy. I can't think of his name, but I love the guy that played Santa in that film. So very nice story.
Miracle on Howard Street was a totally different movie, right?
That was that was in '98, I think that was. Yeah.
Now, are Miracle and Carol, do they know each other, or?
Well, the miracle was he got a freebie a couple years later.
Okay.
Right.
I thought her name was Miracle. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. That's for another episode. We'll talk about the number 3. I kind of cheated a little bit here. I've got the Rankin Bass specials, I should say. Those are the claymation specials from, I think the 60s. Mickey Rooney, Rudolph, Mickey Rooney as Santa Claus. You know, to me, that Mickey Rooney was Santa Claus's voice as a kid. You know, is just watching those growing up. So that was Santa Claus is coming to town. The story of Santa, how he became Santa, and all that. So it's a nice one. And then A Year Without a Santa Claus, when Mrs. Claus is going to take over, and they got the heat miser and the cold miser, the song, all that's great. Yeah. And you got that brat girl that can't let Santa Claus take 1 year off, so you have to get up out of bed sick and
what a dick.
Get back to it, you know. But it's a nice story. And then I've got A Christmas Story, 1983, filmed in Cleveland. Honestly, some of the film's a bit slow for me, but I love the a lot of great scenes in it. Some good comedy. I love the dad in that film, and the whole crescendo. The best part for me is watching the joy in his dad giving him the Red Ryder BB gun he wanted throughout the movie at the end, and just seeing his dad so excited. And watching that movie over the years, when you're a kid, you get the perspective, obviously, of being excited to get the gift and everything like that, and the magic of Christmas, and then having my own daughter. I mean, as you guys know, having young children as well. I mean, Christmas takes a whole different meaning when you're giving gifts to your own child and watching them be excited. That movie kind of lays that out very nicely, and just a warm feeling. Yeah. And then the leg lamp, all that is great. And then I've got Christmas Vacation. I'm wearing a Christmas Vacation shirt. My friend Bean Cunningham. Thank you, Bean. A few years ago, 1989 Christmas Vacation. Dean was saying off camera, it's not the best movie in the world, but of the vacation movies, probably the best, if not the second best from the original, in my opinion.
I'm a big fan of Vegas, but the
Vegas Vacation.
I love Vegas. It's my favorite. Yeah, but I do love Christmas Vacation.
Okay, but anyway, as you guys, that movie, Chevy Chase, just all he wants to do is have a nice family Christmas, fight so hard for it. Obviously, a lot of different things happen and everything, but he does get the nice win at the end of the movie. And that's all he wanted. His speech at the end about, it doesn't matter about bonuses or trees or gifts. It means something to everybody. And I know what it means to me, and that's his family there and all that stuff. So just a nice, feel good, funny movie. So that's my top 5 that I will take in every year. We have a few honorable mentions. We'll talk about that later. But Dean, what do you got on your list, sir? What's your top 5?
And why were you shaking your head at A Christmas Story? That's what I was wanting.
Well, Brian said he has honorable mentions that we'll get to. I have a section of honorable mentions that we'll get to later of Christmas things that I hate.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
we'll talk about that. I like that.
You hate A Christmas Story? All right, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
All right. Okay.
All right. So coming in at number 5. Once again, I don't think mine's necessarily in 1 through 5 order.
That's fine.
But 1946, It's a Wonderful Life, starring Jimmy Stewart.
Great actor.
Classic movie.
Right. And I have got the next one here is I kind of went on outside the box and went for a Christmas episode of a television show.
Yeah.
Every year did the special episode.
That's good.
Well, this was season 9, episode 10 of Seinfeld, The Strike, where we all were introduced to Festivus. Festivus,
Yes.
the rest of us, with the feats of strength.
Great episode.
Absolutely.
That was based on a true story. Do you know that?
Yes, I did know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I mean, is there any better than Jerry Stiller, especially in that episode?
Classic. Yeah.
Then I'm with you on the Christmas Carol, but I went specific. To me, the Christmas Carol was done to perfection. 1984, George C. Scott playing the lead role.
Yeah.
And then I have 1995, or is that 3? I can't read my handwriting. Nightmare Before Christmas. It could be a Halloween movie. It could be a Christmas movie. I mean, the sentiment is there.
That's part of the genius of the movie is that it plays to 2 holidays and the whole season in between is for it. It's perfect.
The whole season. I mean, I suggest everybody just watches it on Thanksgiving. That way you're right in the middle.
That might be argument. Tim Burton's finest overall film, maybe next to the original Batman.
It's genius. I mean, watching it, I mean, that came out when I was a kid, and both of my children, I mean, fell in love with it when they saw it.
Yeah.
And it's been a big deal around our house. But now watching that movie as an adult, there's so many things I pick up on literally every single time. It's so well done, even just from the animation, from the plot, the music, everything.
Yeah.
And just the genius of, like I said, the way it was put together. And it's brilliant. It's a masterpiece. It really is.
I don't know how true this is, but I think I read it somewhere or heard it somewhere that if you look in anything that Tim Burton's ever done, Jack Skellington is in the background or somewhere in the films in every one he's ever done.
Really?
Jack Skellington, the face or something along those lines, has been in every movie. I don't know how true that is.
Huh.
Okay. I'll look that up.
I could be making this up, but I think I heard.
Yeah. We'll look it up. Okay. What else?
Now, don't be spreading, lies on a global podcast. I mean, careful, because people from all over the world listen to this. So just careful.
The one guy in Singapore may come back. That's right.
Our words hold weight here.
Right.
You have a point. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm telling the absolute truth. Don't fact check it. Don't need to do any of that shit. Just believe me. All right?
Yep. Yeah. We're going all in. I fully support him.
If we're upsetting that one fan, we apologize because it's probably him who keeps putting in our commentary on YouTube, or you may or may not be able to view young girls on video. So we do appreciate those comments.
Thank you for the
I'm
tip.
kidding, but yeah. Anyways.
We've got really out there, don't we? Our fans are amazing.
They really are. They're very thoughtful.
Many interests. Many interests.
Christmas is every day for our fans. Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Dean.
All right. First, you just what were you?
I was poking you
because you're above us on our screen.
I was like punching you. Yeah.
I think either you were you thought I was a truck driver and you're trying to get me to blow the horn,
right?
Or
it was meant to be like I was punching you.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought fisting. Never mind.
Oh,
never mind.
No.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go to punching. All right.
That was all part of that miracle story. We'll talk about that another. We'll talk about it off camera. Maybe we'll make that a bonus clip. All right, go ahead. Listen to Christmas episode. Jeez.
Christmas. We're talking about Christmas. You're so dirty, Brian.
I do have a beer in my fridge next to me that's called Fistmas, so that is, I mean, it's part of the season.
I saw that in the store.
Yeah. That's good. It's very good. Yeah, it's it's brewed with like orange peel and spice or something like that. Go on, Dean. Go on.
All right. I've got one left, and it's just the same as Brian's. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yeah. Why? Why do you like it?
Okay. Well, here's the thing: is every like I told you off there. There it is.
Yeah.
Christmas movies and TV shows, a lot of them are not masterpieces. But you watch them when you're younger, and they hold a special place in your heart. So when I'm going to go on my rant later about the Christmas Story being hot garbage, I'm going to upset a lot of people. I get that because you may take a hot garbage like that, and regardless of how bad it is, when you saw it, it not only catches you at a moment, but it also catches you at that time. That Christmas time, that Christmas era. It gives a little bit something more special. That feeling, I think, and so I think that's why people watch those Hallmark movies, as they, it's that special time of the year where you're willing to spend good taste and watch A Christmas Story, something like that. So,
all right, hold up there. We'll talk about that. All right.
I'm talking about Christmas Vacation, and to me, when it was out, I was in that impressionable state, and I mean, Chevy Chase is amazing in that movie. Yeah, so it holds that special spot,
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Dick,
all right,
what do you got? Go ahead, Dean. Sorry.
That's my list real quick. Before we go to Nick's list, how are we looking on time?
About
there somewhere?
We're good. We have time for Nick's list.
Okay. All right. So my list, 2 through 5 could be in any order because there's only one for me, really. But I'll go through the list here. Number 5, I do have Muppet Christmas Carol. So I got a couple that you guys have gone over. Muppet Christmas Carol is my favorite version of Christmas Carol or Christmas Story, whatever. As a matter of fact, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was my first movie in a theater ever. So, and I don't know, Muppets are fun. As a kid, I thought it was a little bit like some of the ghosts were a little bit eerie and creepy, and I kind of liked it, but it was fun, and Gonzo was always my favorite, so he and Rizzo the Rat narrate the whole thing, and so that's kind of enjoyable. They go through and watch everything. What's that?
Oh, you kind of look like a Muppet now. It's adorable.
Thanks. I move like one. Rizzo the Rat, probably, if I had to be one. Maybe that's why I like him. Rizzo's small, but Gonzo's got the nose, so maybe I'm a little bit of both.
Who was the actor in that movie? Who played Scrooge in that movie? The Muppets one?
It was Michael Caine.
That's right. And the funny thing about that movie was he played it straight, as if he was amongst normal actors, and the Muppets were all around him, and he acted like that was a good acting job on his part, and that fun movie. And who doesn't love the Muppets? Yeah,
there were some background characters that were humans, but I think as far as primary characters, he and his son, Scrooge's son, are the only two that really, I think, speak on a somewhat regular basis that are humans. Everybody else is a Muppet,
right?
I think, but yeah, they kind of mix both, but the village is pretty much all Muppets. So yeah, that was always a fun one.
Yeah.
Number 4 or whatever, I have The Year Without a Santa Claus. It's my favorite claymation Christmas special. Snow Miser and Heat Miser. You mentioned the songs. That's probably the best part. I love the way that they bicker amongst themselves and some of the things that they say. And I mean, that was one of my favorites as a kid. I believe it was my dad's favorite as a kid. So we quoted it a lot around the house, and the things that they used to say to each other and stuff like that. So that's my favorite of all those. And Year Without a Santa Claus is in there. I also have at number 3, I wrote down Christmas Vacation. It's just a funny movie, and I think it's kind of one that your adult side can kind of relate to a little more. You know what I mean? Because you're viewing the movie through the eyes of Chevy Chase, who's the father of the house, and all this stuff. And yeah, he wants this Christmas bonus. He's planning to put in a pool, and that's the thing he's been looking forward to. And one thing after the next, all the crazy family comes over, and obviously his cousin Eddie, who's throughout all those vacation movies, is hilarious. I mean, Randy Quaid, say what you will about who he is now, but he was fantastic in those films. He's great.
Randy Quaid, that he made that movie for me. That the interactions between him and Chevy Chase, the lines, the physical comedy, the looks on both their faces.
Yeah.
Classic stuff. Yeah, great stuff. But that's best parts of this movie.
I mean, you have the idea that, I mean, like you said, their interaction back and forth with each other, especially when Eddie's just going on the most ridiculous rants and stuff, and Clark is insulting him the whole time.
Yeah.
Just huge dick to him.
Yeah.
And he has no clue. He just keeps going.
Yeah. One of my favorite parts when you were talking about the interaction between them is when he's borrowing money from Chevy Chase from Clark, and he asks him to get himself something real nice just for him. Yeah. But yeah, that's a great movie. Obviously, it's on all of our lists, so I don't really need to convince you guys of anything there. Number 2, it's a more recent movie, but I love Bad Santa. It's one that I have to watch every year. I usually can wrap presents and watch it every year. They made a second one. What's that?
I've only seen that once, I think.
Really? Yeah, I love it. They made a second one. The second one's got it's fine, but it's not the same as the first. I think that first one just catches you off guard because you're just not at that time. You weren't used to seeing that kind of Christmas movie. That it is a kind of I mean, now it's been done a million times, but
yeah, he's a shockingly bad guy.
Oh yeah, he's terrible.
Boy, and the fact that he finds his way, is pretty amazing. But yeah, that Billy Bob Thornton easily, in my opinion, one of his best. I had the same tradition, Nick. I will wrap presents, just me at home, and watch that movie. It's great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And then number 1 for me is not only my favorite Christmas movie of all time, everybody. It is my favorite movie that has ever, ever, ever been made, and I don't think any movie will ever top it.
Lay it on us.
It is Jingle All the Way. Yeah. 1996 is Jingle All the Way, featuring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad, as well as Phil Hartman, who is a very, very important part of that.
I not only knew that,
What's that?
I not only knew that was going to be your number 1.
Right.
You didn't send anything over, but I was telling Megan that was going to be your number 1. She had no clue what the movie was, and then she had to hear me do a horrible Arnold Schwarzenegger impression to try to describe it.
Put the cookie down, or was it which one? Which one did you do?
I've only seen bits and pieces of that movie, so I don't know the quotes to it.
Okay.
It was more of a generic.
So you were loosely just doing an Arnold voice,
right?
Yes. So
get in the sleigh.
Kind of.
And then when I told her that Sinbad was in it, she just started laughing and understood what the movie probably was.
Yes, but he's he's fine. It's that they but it's Arnold is the lead. But yeah, it's just it's one that I saw as a kid. I remember seeing it in the theater, and it was funny, but it's one that it's like a fine wine. It has aged over time. It's better every single time I watch it, if that's possible. Every year I watch it. I mean, I watch it when it's not Christmas too, like here and there, but most of the time, that's the big thing. When the tree goes up, it's officially Christmas season. Jingle All the Way goes on. It's turbo time. It's all a go. All systems go. So I watch it multiple times through the year. I kind of relate to it the way that you guys were talking about Christmas Vacation. That as a kid, I liked it. It was fine. But as an adult, and actually as a kid, it made me look forward to being a father because I couldn't. Arnold Schwarzenegger. So for those who aren't familiar with Jingle All the Way, Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's the 90s. I believe there's this superhero, this big fad, Turbo Man, which I believe. I mean, at that time, Power Rangers was a big deal, so I related to that as a kid. But there were many things like that were very popular. So Turbo Man, the doll, was the hottest selling Christmas toy that year, and they were impossible to get. Well, this is Arnold Schwarzenegger is a very he's a working man. He's in the office all the time. Family man, but he's always at the office. He's always working. He waits till the last minute to try to get this Turbo Man, which is so unattainable that now he's out on Christmas Eve trying to get this toy that he told his wife he already bought. And comedy ensues, whatever. He meets Sinbad. They're both looking for it, and Sinbad's kind of off his rocker, and he's also a last-minute shopper looking for one for his son. They start, competing, and they find each other at all the same places trying to get this Turbo Man. But it made me look forward to being a dad because I think beneath all that and all the comedy and all the craziness and ridiculous things that happen, the thing that I always took away from it is that this dude loved his kids so much that he just meant all the shit that he goes through, he'll do whatever it takes because he knows his son wants it so bad. And so he goes, and always made me look forward to getting to do that one day. And I will say, a few years back, something similar did happen to me, and it wasn't as fun as what I thought it would be, like trying to go around on Christmas Eve and find something. But
did you meet Sinbad?
That's a different story. What's that?
Did you meet Sinbad?
I did not meet Sinbad.
He was working at the Walmart.
Yeah, there were no Myron Larrabees there at all. No Sinbad, no. But no, Jingle All the Way is, yes, my favorite movie of all time. And
as a kid, what you're telling us is, as a kid, you watched that movie, and you also wanted to be a muscle-bound Austrian fellow?
I did. I've always wanted to be that. That's always been what I wanted to be.
Yeah. I want to aspire to be a procrastinating parent that caused me tremendous stress, last-minute shopping.
Lies to your spouse.
But it works out at the end. Also, okay, so Brian, have you seen Jingle All the Way? Are you familiar?
You know what? I cannot recall the last time. Maybe once I saw that. It's from the 90s, right?
Yeah, 96, I think, is the year it came out.
What I'm like, say, I do not remember that whole movie.
Brian was well into his 50s then, so I mean, he probably wasn't watching movies like that.
Brian,
the beard was like this, like maybe a goatee then or something like that. But
that's appropriate for the time. Yeah, 1996, I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Brian, I guarantee you would enjoy, and most people do. For people that don't enjoy the movie in the ways that I do, Phil Hartman as the next door neighbor, who is a newly divorced father that lives next door, is always trying to move in on Arnold's wife. Their back and forth between them is hilarious. That's my favorite part of that movie, really, is between actors, is Arnold and Phil Hartman. Their back and forth exchanges, because Arnold just loathes him and he knows what he's up to, and this dude's over here trying to be Father of the Year and impress all the single moms in town and stuff. And so yeah, it's hands down my favorite movie. Forget Christmas. It's my favorite movie that's ever been made.
All right, I'll give it a watch. I'll rent it. We'll see what's out there. Okay, so this is a good time to take a break. We're going to take a breath, and then we're going to come back and do. If you have some honorable mentions that didn't quite make your best of, but still that you enjoy, we'll talk about those for a minute. We'll go around and do that, and then talk about we'll start with Dean, and what does he despise, and then we'll talk about if there's any content that we just don't get, and
we'll keep it to Christmas.
Keep it Christmassy. That's right. Okay.
Why does Dean hate Christmas?
Right.
Because I'm Scrooge. Scrooge McDuck. All right.
We will be back in a moment.
Doing a run-in cameo.
Hey!
Run-in cameo. There you go.
We'll see you in a bit, right?
Yep. Hold on one second.
To them, it'd be instant, but to us...
Right.
Yeah.
It's magic.
It is magic. You're magic.